It's time for Insight, an inside view of what's happening in South Jersey. Join your hosts Anthony Fanucci and Jim Quinn as QVC brings you Insight with Anthony and Jim.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the beautiful Queen restaurant on Landis Avenue and Lincoln Avenue in Vineland. One of the prettiest restaurants you're going to find in the city of Vineland. And I wanted to mention, too, that they also carry the Cedar Rose wines of all sorts, and it's very reasonable. So if you're coming out for dinner and you want to have some wine, you certainly can ask, and they've got lots and lots of selections of the wine. And I want to thank Yelmaz. In fact, Mayor, this leads into next Thursday night. We're going to be running a live telecast from 6 to 8 from the New Jersey Motorsports Park. And it's the mayor of Millville, Lisa Orndorff, is going to be the celebrity bartender. And it is a fundraiser that she's putting together for the Make-A-Wish Foundation.
Oh, very nice.
So I want to thank Yelmaz. He already gave me a gift certificate to sell or auction off to start the Make-A-Wish Foundation that they're doing out there. And well, I'll tell you what, though, I wanted to start the show off with what a great story that I read online. You said it was 1015?
Yes.
Who did the interview?
Yeah.
And tell everybody what that story was about. That's fabulous.
So I get a call, or actually an email, the other day, and then, of course, I forwarded it into public relations to have it looked at to be vetted to see if it's real. And sure enough, it's real, and it was Jersey 1015.
Wow.
Which is got a pretty good broadcast reach,
Jersey,
yeah.
Right.
And they wanted to talk about, the new golf course coming down to the Lincoln Avenue corridor on John and Lori Ruga's property, and the partnership with Michael Trout, and of course, Tiger Woods now being the designer. So it's a super, super big deal with all the celebrity status attached to it. So we had a great interview, a bunch of questions in regards to what's going to be there, the amenities, and how the course is going to run, and a variety of different things. And the news host was very gracious. She was a very nice lady, and really got into some detail and some good questions, and and frankly put a good story together. So we were very happy for the positive press.
Yeah, it was fantastic. It really was. It's funny, on the way up today, I've noticed they put like a fence up. It's sort of one that they don't want you to see over, which I understand. But I was able to see over the fence, and I saw one of the holes, which is really neat. And, I know people have talked about it. In fact, Serge Bruner, I don't know if you know Serge, but he wants to become a member. And it's going to be, memberships will be very expensive, obviously. So, which, from that standpoint, it is going to be a top-rate golf club.
Yeah, it's going to, that portion, so the large course that's going to be there is going to be a fully private course, and memberships will be done by invitation. They have a variety of other things that are going to be criteria that need to be met on how that's going to happen. What it is, I don't know yet. They're going to be a smaller area that's going to be a public course, along with restaurants and different things there that the families can enjoy as well. But it's really going to be something, and I don't know what the membership numbers are going to be at cost-wise. I think they're still kind of in the planning phases for that, but I'm sure it's going to be something special.
Yeah, and with that means you're going to have celebrities from all over the country coming to Vineland, and they'll want to see Mike Trout, look at Tiger Woods' design for the golf course, and all that kind of stuff. In fact, I talked to my son Gary, who's vice president of NBC Sports, and he said, we may have to take a look at, putting some type of a golf tournament out there. They do one now my son Gary's done this now for 25 years at Lake Tahoe, and it's a benefit golf tournament, and celebrities play in it. It's 64 celebrities from Michael Jordan, Tony Romo, Charles Barkley, all kind of, and even entertainment celebrities as well. But what's nice is all of the money that's made there is donated to charity. American Centuries is the sponsor of the tournament, so the money goes back to charity. But speaking of charity, talk about what a wonderful man Mike Trout is he and his family run a golf tournament. Right now, I don't know where, maybe it's centered in or Butte or wherever, but they run a golf tournament every year and have done it now for like 10 years for the Millville Thunderbolt Club. and they donate the money it's gotten, which is a large sum of money. They donate that to student athletes
Oh, excellent.
There's like 40 or 30 or 25 student athletes. They give a scholarship, and again, it comes from the Mike Trout sponsored golf tournament. So,
well, it's
really nice.
it's incredible to reach that status as such an elite player, and he's proven to obviously be a very elite individual, and never forgetting where he came from, where he's grown up, his roots here in Cumberland County.
He was born in Vineland.
He was born in Vineland. This is correct.
He told me that.
Yes, this is correct. So we'll take it.
Yet.
But we're just very happy. I'm very happy as, of course, as a parent, right?
Sure.
And I'm sure, Jeff and his wife are very happy that, your son still wanted to be around home.
Yes.
He's got a great brother, and Tyler, that I've had the pleasure of meeting. Teal is their sister's in real estate.
Right. Yeah.
She's a very nice young lady. And, and it's great. It's a testament that the parents really worked hard to raise their children right. And let's be real. I mean, Mike is one of the most elite baseball players you've ever seen.
Yes, exactly.
And, he's apparently just still a great guy.
And it's interesting. I talk about him passing Ty Cobb certain records of old time athletes, and he's certainly one of the best ball players in America. Unfortunately, Mike broke his wrist a couple of days ago, and he'll be out possibly for 6 to 8 weeks. We don't know whether they play here in Philadelphia August 28th to 29th. So I don't know whether he'll be back in time, but at least he'll be there. Hopefully, maybe he can get in a little bit into the game. But, that's part of things that happen, in sports, and he gives it 100%.
He sure does. And I caught part of the playback on ESPN, but I missed it. Was it with the contact he made, or did the pitch didn't hit him?
No, that was the bat.
Right, it was the bat, right?
The knob of the bat caused the wrist to break.
How about that?
Yeah, they talked about 77 miles an hour is the speed of when that bat goes, and I guess the knob part got him, and that's what broke his wrist. So it's wow, yeah, it's amazing.
Well, we wish him well on a quick and speedy recovery for that.
Exactly. But wait, it's exciting, as you say. He truly is a Cumberland County person. As Sandy brought out, and my kids were too, were born in Newcomb because Millville didn't have a maternity hospital at that point.
Yep.
And getting to the point where Newcomb and Millville and eventually Bridgeville and Spirit came together.
Right.
But the fact too is his wife is from Morris River Township, and in fact I heard his dad. I hired him. His dad's in the mosquito commission for the county of Cumberland. I hired Joe. I don't know. Remember back in the late '80s, I guess mid '80s, and is a super guy. And his wife Pam's a sweetheart, and just a really great family. So, and then they have their home is actually in Fairfield Township, just outside of Millville.
Okay.
He has 300 and some acres of land that he bought because he loves to hunt.
Oh yeah.
So this way he doesn't have to worry. He has his own private lands to hunt on.
Nothing wrong with that.
Oh, that's for sure. And of course he's at Jim's Lunch having those 6 burgers and doing those things, and he's all over the place. And in Vineland he's made a big investment, and it's great to see. Like you said, it's going to be. Wow, it's going to put Vineland. Well, not that you're not already on the map, but
it gives you a bigger star on the map.
Sure does, doesn't it? Yeah.
It's an incredible thing, and we're grateful for that. And frankly, in my humble opinion, Michael and his family are in good hands in business with very good quality people in the Rugas.
Oh my God, they're any better than John.
No, they're good, solid people, and it goes a long way. So I have a feeling that will be a long-term successful partnership. Very honest and transparent.
Yes, exactly.
And very committed to the community, to the business, to their employees, and you can see that with the care in which they make their product too.
Oh gosh,
So we're very blessed in Vineland to have this happening here with such great people. We couldn't ask for anything more.
And boy, I got to give John and Lori a lot of credit. They hire the best people. John Newp, who was my city engineer when I was mayor of Millville. And then, of course, as I couldn't take the city, he couldn't either, and we both went to the county.
Right.
In fact, I think he left before I was able to get back to the county again. But he's one of John's engineers. And Matt Graziosi, who was my accountant, is now CFO for him. Again, a great guy. Tommy Tellalai.
Yeah.
What a super... Another great
guy.
Yeah, really, when you look at that, they've surrounded themselves with quality people, but they're great people. So it's a wonderful win, and so generous and so honest and so caring about, the whole area. Really helping do a lot of good things there.
I agree.
So really fortunate on that aspect of it. So it's the South Vineland area. In fact, it's funny. One point, I don't know if I told you, I was instrumental in starting that South Vineland softball field.
Yes, I remember that. Yeah.
And with the Carrie Stesses, and there was a fella, farmer on Lincoln Avenue too, that always came over. I can't think of his name right now, but it was the South Vineland guys and myself, and we got a lot of the Millville teams came up, and we had the South Vineland team. Boy, there was a situation where I was lucky. I was working at a radio station, WMVB. I don't know if you ever knew Joe Cicero, but he was the general manager. Joe was a Vineland guy. And he was good about allowing us to do barter deals. So I was able to trade out the fencing, which that's another word for barter, for the field.
Right.
So it didn't cost us anything. I got the electric stuff from, I forget, it was Crown Inn. He donated the money for the electric, the lights. And I got to tell you a nice story about Vineland, how wonderful Vineland was to us. At that time, the electric was taken care of by Atlantic Electric. So I called them and I said, look, we're putting up this field. How about we need 8 used electric poles? We don't have any. Well, I knew they did because I managed a Little League team a few years back, and there was a whole bunch of them right near the pole or near the field, but they wouldn't do it. But I called Vineland, and they said, no problem, Jim, you got whatever you want. They brought them down and had them there, so they cooperated with us. And it was interesting because we did all of that without, we had to help the electric, but there was no city or county money involved. It was doing it the right thing.
Right.
The reason was we did. And it ended up being a premier place. Rob Shannon would hold his softball tournaments there instead of in Millville. And then there was a group that was in there, I want to say like Prime Events or something, guys that were like 16, 17, 18-year-old ball players. They would come down and they'd use that as one of their home fields as well. So it was very popular. But boy, you know what? As we're talking about that, I ran 64-team softball tournament before you were born in Vineland, and it was for the college. I ran it for the college, and the people were they'd come from all over, from North Jersey, South Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, and they couldn't believe it. They said, oh my God, these are the best fields we've ever seen, and 10 of them. I mean, think about 10. I mean, shore people, they're lucky they have one because of the property and stuff like that. But we just had a wonderful time, and people loved it. Did that for quite a few years.
I traveled all over when I was younger, and I played softball, and we traveled up and down the state, out of the state, Pennsylvania, Virginia. We did a little bit of that kind of stuff when I was younger and had some free time.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, I don't ever recall a complex or a field being in as good a shape as ours here in the city of Vineland.
Oh.
They really do a great job with maintaining the fields and and keeping them pristine. And as a mayor, I'm all over the place, so I see what's out there. And the worst thing that ever happened to recreation this past year is I ended up coaching my daughter's
softball
team.
Oh, that's great.
So she was in 8U, and our team made it to the championship. Unfortunately, they didn't win, but
that's great to make it there.
They did wonderful. These kids, but so I'm on different field every couple nights. And I'm like, wow. I'm like, everything looks good, but I see this or that. So poor Bobby D would get text messages or phone calls. So I know Dale was probably ready to rip whatever hair was left out of his head. And I'd be like, but aside from that, our fields are incredible and in great shape. So me just nitpicking at certain things was because I could see it because I was there. And I'm like, and then I'm going to other fields and other towns with the kids as we travel. And I'm like, oh my goodness, like there's no comparison. No. And I'm not being territorial, I'm just being honest.
No, I've seen it too. I've been down that street. As we said, 10 fields, I'm going all around, and everybody was just, oh my God, this is so great. Everybody really enjoyed it. And the nice thing is you have such great assets, and you talked about Bobby and Dale and the people that, I forget the guy that was the director of recreation. Wonderful man.
Used to be Mr. Palaha. John Palaha.
No, it was before that. This was in the 70s. But
you know what? The name escapes me at the moment.
Very, very helpful.
But yeah, the people that ran rec here for a long time,
Yeah.
our heart's been in it.
Yeah.
And recently we took over the fields at Memorial School.
Oh, that's great.
Because they were not really being utilized. They were let go.
Yeah.
So we were there for a practice for then my daughter's T-ball.
Uh-huh.
And I said, this is just awful. So again, I called Bobby. I'm like, Bobby, I want a meeting out here. I want you, me. I want Dale. I said, and I need the people from the school district. And people like Paul Fanucci, who just always step up to the plate. Great guy. As soon as we made the call, we had a meeting out there like a day or so later. And we said, what can we do? And they're like, let us handle this. And we did. And the school district took care of its obligations. We've done it. We turned that clover into usable fields, which was great. It relieved the complex, the Fanucci Field complex, from extra stress. It allowed a lot more games to happen more efficiently. And I'm proud of what our people did. We built brand new dugouts there.
Oh, wow. That's fabulous.
We did it all in-house.
That's great.
So it was all at our cost. We have a masonry division at the city, and
I didn't know
our guys did everything to get it set up and ready for these girls. And they knew it was important, and they've done great. And now each year that site will improve more and more and more. And it'll be utilized more and more and more.
That's super.
It'll be great.
Location.
Really good.
We're on Insight with Mayor Anthony Fanucci from the city of Vineland. We'll be back to talk more about the great city of Vineland right after these messages.
More than a century ago, General Tire was born, right here in America. Since then, we've made a name for ourselves by making tires you can depend on. Tires built to handle any road this country can throw at them, and relied on by every kind of driver. So you know that no matter where life takes you, with General Tire, anywhere is possible.
I chose DeMarco Luisi Funeral Home because they treated me with respect and compassion. I couldn't have gone through all this if I didn't have DeMarco Luisi by my side. They did everything that they could to make me happy, and that was important to me and my kids.
At the DeMarco Luisi Funeral Home, we're here for you and your family in your time of need.
Complete Care has some big news to share with you.
We're here opening more locations and offering more services every day,
including our newest locations on Pearl Street in Bridgeton and High Street in Millville.
We're here with convenient, high quality, and accessible healthcare services all under one roof.
We're here just a call or email away.
We're here to provide compassionate care for you and your family.
We're here and we're ready when you are.
Complete Care Health Network, ready when you are.
We're all looking for God. All the signs point to, there is really a God. We try to find him in all kinds of ways, in all kinds of places, and through all kinds of things. But there's only one way to find him. That's by personal experience with him. Come visit us this Sunday. We can introduce you to him. New Life Church, Millville, New Jersey.
It's time for Insight, an inside view of what's happening in South Jersey. Join your hosts Anthony Fanucci and Jim Quinn as QVC brings you Insight with Anthony and Jim.
Joey should be the mayor, we hope.
Yeah.
Welcome back to Insight. I'm Jim Quinn along with Mayor Anthony Fanucci. We're here at the beautiful Queen Restaurant at Lincoln and Landis Avenue in Vineland. I brought a friend of mine in Monday night after we did the show. Bill Horn was on the show, and I brought Bill in. First time he'd ever been here. He's been to the Millville Queen all the time, and he couldn't get over how beautiful this place is. Yes, it is. And boy, I tell you what, Mayor, in fact, thank you. I know years back, and Yelmaz had asked if you would come down, and you did. Now he wants the mayor of Millville to come up here, and she's been busy, but I'm sure she will sometime. But when Bill saw this place, he goes, "My God, Jim, this place is amazing, very, very, attractive and all." I said,
they did a great job here.
Yes, they did. And what I admire, whatever they do first class. Mm-hmm. In Millville, they put up beautiful fencing, and then the parking lot They just redid it. It's fabulous. It really is.
Made a good investment.
Yeah.
But you were saying something about Mr. Horn. You were here with him.
Yes. Do you know Bill Horn?
I don't know Bill, but indirectly, we've crossed paths once. But he seemed like a really good guy.
Well, he did the Jim Hurley documentary. I don't know if you've seen that yet.
No.
Yeah, he did that, and Glasstown Production helped do the video, but he wrote it, scripted it, did all the things to get that ready. And he's done some. In fact, he's going to be doing a documentary on Art Webster, the all Broad Street players, Walter Webster.
Oh yeah,
he's going to do one on him and all
the
Broad Street players and stuff like that. So, but he was telling me, and we were talking about the new restaurant in Vineland. It's KC's, or isn't there one that's
KC Ray's?
KC Ray's.
Yeah, it's the over by Maury's property, which was the next to the Landis Theater on East and Landis. Another place does good food. They really put a lot into the place now. They've been doing really well at the theater, running shows pretty much every weekend.
That's great.
And they're working very hard. And we hope the community is able to come out and support the folks that are behind that mission there, if you will, because it's always a mission when you're trying to operate a food service business these days.
Yeah. Well, you know how tough
it's
that
always
business
is.
is.
It's a tough business to begin with, let alone with sometimes the craziness that comes in with from the pandemic and the shutdowns. These businesses really had a tough row over the last few years. So, and places like this, you come out here and you could bring your family to dinner, and it probably costs you less to come eat here a really fine meal compared to going to the store and buying the groceries and cooking it yourself anymore.
That's the truth. I thought about that. I mean, the one thing I didn't mention I have in the past is they have this special here, 2 for $25. Now you say 2 for $25. Yes, 2 meals for $25. There's a selected menu of about a dozen items. And anyway, the nice part about it is it includes soup or salad and your entree and a vegetable and dessert for $12.50.
Where are you going to go for that?
Could you go buy that at the store?
Not today.
No, you really couldn't. And obviously, it's only one of you. It's $13.99. But if you have a person that comes with you, and you both order from the menu, it's $12.50 per person. And the other neat thing is, in fact, I've got mine, I think, with me. They have
the card.
Yeah. Did you? Yeah. I mean, even I was thinking about this. It's almost like embarrassing to use it because that is so inexpensive. But I have the VIP card. It's $20, a one-time fee, and it's good for an entire year. So mine's good till June 19th of 2024. And so if you get a regular meal, if it's like the one I normally get is they have a mini meal or whatever they call it, but it's still it's one big piece of fish stuffed with flounder or stuffed with crab meat, and that's I think maybe like $18 or $19. So you still are going to save a couple bucks with 10% off. And again, you get the soup, salad, and the entree, and that's that's unbelievable. And dessert. I mean, I don't know. A lot of places you do get soup or salad, the entree. But very few places do you get the dessert, and they have that here as well.
You know what's nice here too, and my kids love it, is they make like the old-fashioned type of milkshake, in that steel mixer, and and so forth. And they come out, and frankly, you're getting a milkshake, but you're kind of like getting a milkshake and a half because the thing is so big. And they put it in a glass, they bring you the extra over. It's the little things that go a long way, And for me, it's a great spot to come have my breakfast meetings in the morning.
That's great.
I come in and you sit down and they're welcoming, and the food's good, and it comes out quickly, and you're able to talk and you move along your day. Lunch is always good, and we've done dinner with the family a number of times, especially when you're on this end of town or you're coming back into town for something. And there's probably not anything you can't order.
No,
they have pretty much everything.
Yeah, and you can have breakfast tonight. If you want, they don't cut it off at a certain time,
which is nice too.
Yeah,
I get like that sometimes. I want breakfast because I just want breakfast food for whatever reason. Eggs and hot Italian sausage.
Yeah. Well, I like bacon, but I'm not into hot.
I like my bacon too.
Well, you know what? The mayor and he chose tonight what we were having for dinner, and it was something I haven't had in a long time, and I felt like it too. Tell them what we had.
Yeah, we had BLTs tonight.
Yeah.
A little lightly toasted white bread.
Yeah.
Light mayo, just add a little something to it. But I love a good BLT, especially this time of year.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, but you were talking about your mom.
My grandma, when they had the tomatoes, you know, of course, Jersey's always known for its tomatoes.
Oh, yes.
My grandmother always had those big tomatoes, like those beefsteak-looking tomatoes in the garden, and she would slice them down. And how many times you have tomato sandwiches? But we would have BLTs all the time, and you know, it just brings back some good memories. And then the sad part is, it makes me realize how long ago it was.
Yeah.
And you can see how gray my hair's getting these days.
Yeah, well, you got to go see. It was funny. Speaking of hair, Sue Sorrow was on with me.
Oh yeah, I saw Sue at the fireworks.
And she says, you know, you and I, Jim, we go to the same hairstylist. I said, and we do. We've ended up finding out we do. But I'll tell you, your hair looks nice too. But there's a woman with beautiful silver hair. Mm-hmm. No, just God blessed her as He did with you. And, you know, it looks good. Now, He didn't bless me, so I have to do a little doctoring up of that. But, you know, it's one of those situations.
Listen, I got no talent.
I don't either.
I can't play an instrument.
I can't
draw. Nobody wants to hear me sing.
Yeah. Me either. That's why you're such a great mayor. So you got that skill. Well, you know, I was talking about that seriously to someone recently. When you look at what a wonderful job you've done here, you've got the business background, you've got the knowledge, you really have the people skills. I mean, all the things you want in a mayor, you have. And it's like, I was talking to somebody, one of our mutual friends, about and they said the same thing. Who's going to run against them? You've got a long while to go anyway. But I mean, that's a credit to you and what's been happening. And again, you've surrounded yourself with Bobby Dickinson, and you got Sandy, and you got lots. I mean, you could get down the list. That you even have. Somebody was talking about just the other day, talking about Matt Rabbi.
Oh yeah.
I said, "Oh my God, I love Matt. He is a piece of work, isn't he?
Oh man,
he is."
Listen, you know, Jim, you've been a mayor, right? You've been a county official. I mean, you've been around the block politically, but you know how hard it is to run your city, run it with purpose, run it with passion, run it with integrity. And what happens is everybody thinks they can do it. Everybody's got an opinion. Everybody wants to take a shot. Yeah. You have a lot of people that are looking for a seat at the table, and you know they're critical for one reason or another. Yeah. The chest is out, and I welcome that. Not out of arrogance, but if people want to step up to the plate and you want to run in an election, and you want to learn what it's really like to get on a ballot and understand the needs of the people, and you have some sort of a grand plan, hey, there's one every November. Pick a spot you want to run for.
Yeah, that's true in the county.
You know, whether it's mayor, whether it's county, whether it's assembly or senate or governor, whatever, president, whatever you want to be. But a lot of people will talk that talk but never walk that walk.
Well, and you know, the other thing too is I know you put in full time. I put in full time. And that's something, because we have our own businesses, we had people that can handle stuff for us. And, you know, not that you don't stop in and see.
No,
how
of course, you work your rear end off every day.
Exactly. You put in, 14, 15-hour days. But you loved it. You love it. I loved it. You know, it was something that was funny all my life as a child. Even I dreamed of being mayor of Millville. And I finally got that, to come through. And what's really nice, the first 4 years that I served, we all ran as just individuals. There was no party affiliation. Mm-hmm. And I finished first. Jeff Trout, Mike's dad, finished second. He happened to be a registered Republican. And then Jimmy Parent finished third. And John Hollingshead, who the rest of the soul, finished fourth. He was a Republican. And Joey Durrell. So there were 3 registered Democrats, 2 Republicans. We didn't bring up politics. We didn't have any political boss behind us telling us, you're going to do this, you're going to do that.
Right.
We did whatever we felt was best for the city. And, so I had 9 years as a county commissioner or county freeholder at that time. And I did serve a couple of years as the director of the board. So I had experience in government. Jim Parent had experience. Jeff didn't, but Jeff taught history. Mm-hmm. And John had been involved for a term, and Joe Durrell did the school board. But it was a great team of 5 people working together. And I mean, I know you have a good council that works with you and things like that. And I got to tell you, I'm so impressed with what the Republican Party has done in Cumberland County with Mike Testa. I mean, just taken the county is now, of the 14 municipalities, 12 are Republican. Only Bridgeton and Fairfield Township still have a Democrat leader. This is a funny story. Ken Wilden, a friend of mine.
Yeah, sure.
You know
Yeah,
Ken,
Ken, yeah.
He called me up.
Real good guy.
A year ago or so. He goes, Jim, I just want to let you know I'm switching parties. I said, good for you. I said, now you're going to win. And he did.
And he did.
But, you know, it's the time and it's timing, that red wave. I mean, I finished worse than I ever thought I'd finish in Noble City election. Finished fourth out of the 5 spots. And then when someone else finished, I said, no, I don't want to go there. So I decided I'm done. And I helped the retirement. But, you know, it is really good to see good people that have been selected. I mean, Tori Lodes, what a great lady.
Yes.
She just got in and she's doing a super job. Doug Albert, as the director, is doing very well. And of course, you know, Tony Romero. Tony worked with me years ago with a cable company.
Okay.
He actually helped build my cable system down in the townships, Marshall, commercial down in Forest Township. I know Joe Cilio. And of course, I'm disappointed that Carol Musso and Donna Pearson opted not to run because I thought they've both done a great job. But I think they probably saw the writing on the wall. And one of my favorites is Johnny Capp.
Yeah.
Petey Capp's cousin.
Yeah. Johnny's a great guy. So the first team I ever helped coach was a basketball team in the VBA. And Johnny Capizzola was my center on that team.
No kidding.
Yes. So, and he's a good guy. Heart's in it. Listen, you know what? We all have our beliefs politically, morally, ethically, whatever it may be. But frankly, partisan politics, you know, leave it for the federal government or the higher levels of the state.
Yeah.
If they took partisan politics away from municipalities, like we are, we're a Faulkner Act town, we're a nonpartisan election. My team that I put together is made up of Democrats and Republicans. And frankly, it's not about political affiliation. It's about the background and the integrity of the person and the caliber of what they are inside to bring to the table to govern, right? And that's the key. It's all about good government. And if people really concentrated on that more, things would be so much easier. They'd run smoother. They'd be more successful. But here again, the problem is that you have people that take shots on one side or the other. It's not productive, and you're not helping your cities. You know,
you're not.
You're just not.
But what Millville had always been non-political or non-partisan, and unfortunately, the Democrats actually made it partisan back when Mike Santiago and Joe Pepitone and Bruce Cooper and the people that ran, Jimmy Parent and Ashley Adavos, 5 of them pretty much ran as the Democratic slate. So then the next time around, the Republican slate did very well. That was East Orndorff. But I tell you, the one thing Chuck Fisher always said, and it's pretty much what you're just saying too, when you govern, you campaign, that's fine. Democrat, Republican, whatever you want to do. But when you're done the campaign, you leave the R and the D in the car and you govern for the people.
Correct.
Whatever the people want, you listen and you try to help them. And I will give credit to the Republican Party too. They are very transparent, and we actually televise live the work session and the regular meeting every month. And this month we're actually going to be there's 2, I guess maybe one's talking about the internet, I'm not sure, but they have 2 informational sessions that we're going to be covering as well. But without the newspaper anymore, the TV gives you the opportunity, and with Facebook and YouTube, you can watch it anywhere at any time. Of course, we still have channel 22, but that gives the knowledge. And even like when I read your story, I didn't read it in the paper, I read it online on the phone, and it came up. And unfortunately, the papers used to cover the meetings. You don't see them anymore. At least we didn't in the county. Millville doesn't. I mean, occasionally, I guess if there's a big story, Joe Smith will.
Yeah, he pops in the vinyl once in a while. Yeah.
And he does a good job.
And he's a good guy, yeah, absolutely.
Yes. Yeah, but it's just the business, radio, TV, newspaper, the advertising struggles because people are going online. I mean, I used to do the car shows. I was talking to Ivan Nelson at Williston. He said, Jim, when you used to do the car shows back 15, 20 years ago, he said, we would sell 40 to 50 cars a weekend. I said, are you serious? He said, honest to God. He said, it was unreal. But then what happened now, it's almost impossible to do that because if you want a used car, you grab your phone. I'm looking for a 2018 Ford F-150 pickup truck, and it'll pop up all the places that are available, what the price is and all that. You don't have to sit through the hour show to watch it. But that's the convenience.
Yeah, it's technology today.
It is.
But, back to your point, with that, this is why we put out a lot of different messaging. Like, you'll constantly see content on our Facebook page, something on our website. We have Minute with the Mayor segment, right, which I try to do monthly, and put some minute to a couple minute and change of time, some segment out there for people to know, information, pushing it out. We have a new app that we're launching in August, which will be the My Vineland app.
Oh, that's great.
Right?
Wow.
Which you'll be able to have all kinds of different things on there so people can stay in contact. And our goal is to be able to get those push notifications to people about important stuff, give them the ability to communicate back and forth with us in every possible way we can.
That's great.
And the goal is that people are like, well, why are you adding into this age of automation? I said, because frankly, in our community, we have a lot of people that they realize are disabled, can't get into City Hall because they have no means, can't get out of the house, have a real problem, and they need to be able to communicate and have access to our services. Well, if they don't have the ability to have an iPad or a computer, most of them have a mobile device like a phone.
Right.
So now it's all compatible, mobile compatible to be able to do that. And we're just kind of ramping it up. The sad part is that a couple of my predecessors as mayors here, didn't really think forward with technology, and we were behind. Everything we had was archaic when we came over, including our website. I mean, frankly, I think our website looked like an old DOS-based program. So, it was sad, but it needed to be revamped. So when we took office the first time in January of 2017, first thing we said, I need everything revamped. And we need a new marketing strategy. We need a business plan. We need a new website. We need to be able for people to reach us. So economic development has really taken off in a different way because we've been able to advertise. I'm sure you've seen the commercials on TV and online and the billboards. And you're like, why do you do that? It's branding. It's a positive message.
Absolutely.
It's something good for Vineland. When you Google Vineland now, you're not getting a bunch of nonsense and bickering and who's back and forth. It's leadership, and let's do it, and let's govern for the people the right way. And that's really the bottom line.
It's funny, Bill Horn was my guest Monday, was praising you and your city for the Minute with the Mayor, and you also put that outside the area to draw people in for economic development purposes, to come to Vineland, because you offer so many great things, from the UEZ to the empowerment zone to your electric utility. I mean, affordable land. It's just, obviously we're running out of land, but you keep finding something more available. I think the next place should start. You should talk to my buddy. In fact, he just switched too, Mike Visser.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Mike's now a Republican, and he said to me,
another good guy.
Oh, he's a great guy. Yeah. He really is. But he's up on North Vineland or North Elsie Drive. He has some land there. Is what I'm saying. He has.
Tell him to give us a call.
I will. GM White. He's still a little young yet, but GM White Electrical Contractors. Yeah. But he's the mayor of Commercial Township, and again, a really good guy. And that's what I found. I mean, I've been fortunate. I've met an awful lot of great people in both parties, Democrat and Republican Party. And one day I was thinking, my God, I mean, I really like Mike Testa. I enjoy interviewing him. We have a great time. Talk about Tripp, his dad. What a great! His Tripp is his son. He's the third, Michael Testa the third, and 7 years old and stuff. But it's neat to talk about family, which you do. You and I talk about, your family, and your wife, and your daughters, and your son, and that's what it's all about when you look at that. And I mean, as I say to you, I don't see anybody being able to defeat you in an election. I don't see anybody being able to beat Mike. I really don't. And again, in fact, he was kidding me. He said he lost Vineland at one time by 500 votes.
He did the first time he ran.
That's right. Mm-hmm. But with Cape May County being so like 80-20, 80% is Republican, no Democrat. Give Jeff Van Drew a lot of credit.
Oh, yeah.
He was the only one that was ever able to do it. And then he got smart and said, I'm going to become a Republican.
Right.
And he'll be in as long as he wants as well. So, it's time. And the thing that, in fact, I think Hal and I don't know if you remember the year that Jeff Trout was 1999, I think so he told me. Jeff Trout got elected at County Freeholder Board, and I think Art Marchand, I don't know if it was Hal Johnson or it was another person, but 3 Republicans got elected against the Democrats that were involved with, they were incumbent Democrats, Bruce Peterson, Jay Christie.
I do remember this. Yeah.
But you know what that was? That was the monsoon. And the Republicans, God bless them, they go out and they vote.
Right.
The Democrats don't get off their butts and vote until maybe the presidential election.
Right.
It's like, I don't know why, but that's what ends up happening. So, tribute to him. And I know Antoine, I like him a lot too.
He's a real good guy too.
Nice
Tom McClellan and Eric Simonson. They're all good people.
Well, I think Nick Caselda had a really good point when you talk about the success that Mike put together when he did that. Antoine comes from one of the biggest cities in Cape May County, Ocean City, and Eric comes from the biggest township, Lower Township, in Cape May County. Mm-hmm. So, I think Eric was the mayor or whatever, but you had that popularity that you bring with you, and it's almost impossible to find a Democrat in Cape May County whatsoever.
It's a challenge for a lot of people. The good news is, and to Michael's credit and to Eric and Antoine's credit, they work. Right, mm-hmm. and they're working hard. They're showing up to vote. They're involved, and Michael Jr. is everywhere, all up and down, the state for different things. So he's working very hard. So people should know that, their senator is working hard, and doing the best that he can for the people of his district.
The day he was on with me, he had just gotten back the day before about midnight from voting on the budget.
I heard that was
last Wednesday night.
Again, it's the hard part is, as in everything, right? You have so many masters you're trying to serve, especially at our level of government, right? And you work hard to try to get to your people in the legislature. You need to make some practical changes to help with budgeting, right? To help with aid, and there's such a disparity in how municipalities are viewed and looked at, who takes care of whom. And when you look at all this COVID money that was distributed, right, there was, billions of dollars, right, pushed out. You have a city like Trenton that was awarded $73 million.
Wow.
Right? So, okay, and what's the city of Vineland get? 11.
Jeez, you got a lot more territory, a lot more people, everything. It's
11.
Shouldn't it be proportioned?
Wouldn't you think?
Yeah,
right.
By your population, if nothing else.
Trenton gets, all that, and the next thing you know, they don't even know how to spend it. They're giving bonuses. They're doing all kinds of things to people. I'm like, if you don't know how to spend it, give it back and redistribute. We knew what we were doing.
Yeah.
And by the way, we got $11 million that was over a 2-year period, and it didn't come when it was supposed to. It was held up, and and so you think just call it 5.5 a year.
Yeah.
It barely touched. Look at the inflation in the country that we faced.
Oh my God! That's terrible.
Goodness. At the end of the day, you're talking maybe 5 or 6% of the budget you're seeing back.
Yeah.
And what was inflation?
5%,
every bit all day.
It's
long.
gone. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a lot, and people don't understand what you're trying to do, especially in a city this large.
Yeah.
Territory-wise, you know how big we are.
69 square miles with 70, 80,000 people. Come on,
it's a lot.
It's a big city.
They don't understand. They're like, people are like, well, how can you not? But listen, the municipal tax rate in Vineland is still one of the lowest around the area, right? They don't realize, and then I get on my soapbox with the property tax bill. You have the municipal tax, you have the school district tax, you have the county tax, you have the library tax, and you have the county open space tax.
Yeah,
right.
That's right.
So you got 5 components to our tax bill here in the municipality. So we're running Vineland on 32 cents on a dollar, maybe 33.
A third. That's amazing, and you're providing mostly all the services. It's
correct. Police, fire, EMS, full-time health.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, there's a lot going on here, and that's why we're constantly moving. And then you're recovering from the pandemic. You're recovering from poor decision making or poor leadership over the years in certain respects, or sometimes different direction. So it's a challenge. But our goal, listen, we're going to pave roads. We're going to continue to have great infrastructure in water, electric, and sewer. Right. We're going to continue to provide a big enough police force to police the city, enough fire coverage. Thank God for the volunteer fire departments that are here. We have 5 volunteer departments, and then our 1 paid career department, and then EMS, which we've completely revamped EMS. Just to be competitive in salaries, to not lose our people in places, buying equipment, training. Vineland is its own its own whole area.
It's almost like its own state in
Almost,
good ways.
yeah. I know sometimes they refer to us as the state of Vineland, but
yeah, but you know what? I'd love Vineland to be. We should cut South Jersey off. Vineland should be the capital of South Jersey. We're going to be back to talk with Mayor Anthony Fanucci right after these messages.
Advanced robotics, experienced physicians. When it comes to minimally invasive surgery, we don't play around.
The New Jersey Motorsports Park is hosting a celebrity bartender event with Millville's Mayor Lisa Orndorff on Thursday, July 13th from 6 to 8 p.m. at the Finish Line Pub. This event, open to the public, will feature specialty drinks with portions of the proceeds donated to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of New Jersey. You can scan the QR code to make a donation. Remember Thursday, July 13th, from 6 to 8 p.m., the Celebrity Bartender event with Mayor Lisa Orndorff at the New Jersey Motorsports Park's Finish Line Pub.
At Mintz Insurance, we're proud to have been serving our customers for nearly 80 years, offering 30 different insurance products for your auto, home, and business. And to help ensure that you're getting the best rates possible, we give you up to 3 quotes for every policy, so you can choose what's right for you. At Mintz, we're part of the community, local representatives, supporting events, and proud of it. It's part of who we are. Mintz Insurance. Call today and find out how we can help you save on insurance, or visit us at mintzinsurance.com.
You're not alone. Jesus is the light of the world, and he's waiting to be your friend.
It's time for Insight, an inside view of what's happening in South Jersey. Join your hosts Anthony Fanucci and Jim Quinn as QVC brings you Insight with Anthony and Jim.
Welcome back to Insight with Mayor Anthony Fanucci, City of Vineland. And we're here at the Queen Restaurant at Lincoln and Landis Avenue in Vineland. And we hope you want to stop by sometime and try the food. It's great. And my friend Tom and Jane Verba are here, and they were just saying their meal was delicious. And the fact is, they had that 2 for $25 meal that Mayor and I had talked about earlier, $12.50. Now, you get soup or salad, entree, vegetable, and dessert for $12.50, as long as you have a friend to bring with you, because it's $12.50 for 2 of you.
Can we work Jane over for the dessert, though? I want some
I know,
blueberry.
Yeah, Jane's got that blueberry cake she made. Yeah, geez.
I hear about it.
Jane is a great chef and cook. Jane and Tom went up to the Blueberry Festival. They go up there every year in Hamilton and pick up some, I love blueberries, too.
Me too.
Strawberries and blueberries. Esperacio strawberries were always so good. Well, you know, that was something when I was talking about people that I've served with. And, I mean, he was one of the nicest men you ever meet in your life. And a family. I got to meet his brother and his dad and his mom, and just great, great people. And that's what's nice when you have that opportunity. I served with Gary Zimmerman. Doesn't get any better person than him. And, you know, it's like, I don't know if you know Carmen D'Addario, John D'Addario.
Oh, yeah, sure, I know Carmen.
I didn't serve with John, but I served with Carmen again. Very nice man.
Class act.
Isn't he, though? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Tom Shepard, and they were the ones that were there. Harry Freitag. I mean, I was very fortunate. These were the opposite party of me, but really good people who cared and did a good job and didn't care about the party. They were there for the people.
Right. Listen, you know what? When you represent, you represent with class and dignity. Exactly. It makes a whole big difference in everything. Yeah. Working together. Yes. I mean, and in our area, okay, we have the fringe on both sides.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
But the majority of the practical Republicans and the practical Democrats are really not that far apart.
No.
So, you know, maybe there's a couple issues here or there. Maybe there's one.
Yeah.
But by and large, when it comes to local government, I think we're on the same page the majority of the time.
Yeah, exactly.
So partisan nonsense doesn't really affect us, and I don't want it to.
No, because that hurts the people, hurts everything. And as I watch currently, the county commissioner board, this 4 Republicans and the 3 Democrats seem to get along very well. Whereas, as we talked about, Johnny Capozola and Donna Pearson, and I spoke with Carol Musso. Carol is great. She donates her time to everything. She's all over the place. I was disappointed Carol and Donna decided not to run, but that's their choice to make. I know Carol served a long time.
Wow.
And
Donna too.
And it was funny, Donna said to me, Jim, I didn't even want to win. I ran as a favor to Jack Sorensi on that other ticket.
Right.
And she ended up winning, and she's done a super job. Really good people. So, as we talk about, I'd say 90% of the people that we deal with.
So you don't have to be aligned politically to be respectful to each other.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right. And if in our world today, people were treated with more respect, more kindness, and before people had to become heavy-handed, it's there. Yeah. There's no room for the bully mentality. Not if you want to accomplish something.
No, exactly.
I mean, if you're looking to pound your chest and stand up at a podium, well, that's a different story. Yeah. If you really want to get something done, it's about the relationships you make and the progress you can make together.
Yes, totally agree. So lots of good things. I know Sandy and I talked a few weeks ago about all the great things happening in Vineland. The mummy movies or something.
Zombie movies, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
So they've completed one. We should be seeing the last version of the edit pretty soon, which is pretty neat. That'll be coming out. There's another movie being filmed in the area now. There are several more that are slated to be filmed here.
Wow, that's
we've really tried to attract the industry. The Southern New Jersey region has great tax credit benefits, and there's a diversity kicker in there for an additional 2% if you have it. But our region is there, so we've picked up one, and then we've marketed to many others, and we've had a number of different celebrities here. And we're very optimistic on what the future holds for that as an additional layered industry into what we do here. Again, it's something that we've done in my administration where we've gone outside the box. We're trying to think outside of just normal traditional vanilla methods.
Well, look at your restaurants. I mean, downtown, the variety is phenomenal.
You're right.
And the movie people and everything else are helping give customers to the downtown.
Well, the impact of the one movie was over $500,000 in economic benefit to the businesses between hotels and restaurants and mini stores in that one area, just for that one, right? Wow. Imagine if you start doing more and it becomes more of a hub, and and as we grow athletics and we grow in other businesses, and we're bringing everything in alike, and we're working towards initiatives with Smart City and and becoming our own ISP, and this is where people don't really get to see. When you're in it full time and you're in the trenches like you've been and like I am now, you're able to make things work, right? You're like, well, how in the world could you be there full time? Well, I work a lot, right?
Yes, you do.
And I'm not a stranger to it, and I love it, and I enjoy work, and I with technology, I'm able to be mobile with a lot of things as well.
Yeah.
And I still make time to be a father and a husband.
Yeah.
Because my family's extremely important to me. And frankly, I'm sacrificing the time that I'm sacrificing and putting in to better our city and our community, so my children always can call this place home if they want to. And if there's opportunity there, and maybe their children can do that. And that's what's important. It's not a selfish thing here, and it's not an ego thing. It's you work very hard to do the right things because you're trying to build the future. We're trying to improve the present and build the future. And frankly, people don't like that. That's tough. Because we're going to keep working that hard.
It's amazing. I think back to when, we did the groundbreaking over at Landis Avenue and East. And I remember the people saying, "Who's going to want to live downtown?" And they had a waiting list of 300 people.
They built another one full, right? So waiting list for the next building.
And that's over near Newcomb. Right?
Yes, correct.
The Newcomb project. I mean, it tells you people know what you're saying is true. Vineland is on the increase. It's on the rise. There's a lot of good things happening here. Lots of great opportunities for people to go for entertainment, for meals. My God, there's it must be at least 50 great restaurants throughout the city of Vineland. A lot of diversity on downtown Landis Avenue and all that stuff.
We've got beautiful crews downtown Landis Avenue working that are dedicated from end to end, to try to make that main corridor clear. And people are like, you spend too much time on Landis Avenue. That's been the criticism of every mayor before me too, right? There's more than Landis Avenue. Well, you're right. And that's why if you go around the city, You'll see roads getting paved everywhere.
Yes,
You'll see businesses locating everywhere. Right next door to us here, there's going to be a brand new car wash.
Oh, that's great.
Right, that the gentleman and his wife bought property here. Yep, and they're getting ready to develop. They're just waiting on the DEP. So the state's got them slowed down.
Right.
But they're going to build a beautiful. I think it's going to be called the showroom car wash.
Oh, that's great.
And it's going to be right, literally next to this plaza here, on a piece of ground that's been sitting there. That was a house that was demolished, and we're guiding people in the directions for developing things that are perfect. And that car wash will do extremely well.
Yeah.
You'll be coming in from Buena Vista, Buena Borough. You'll be able to come from Vineland if you're crossing through Millville. You're coming up through Atlantic County this way. Yeah. It's going to be an incredible point. It's like reinvesting money down here on the roadways and the infrastructure we talked about.
Yeah, you did.
And sewer and water and what we're building. And we're in the process of the marketing and the branding for the city has been so incredible. And I'm so proud of what our team has done. And there's things I can't even talk about yet because we're not allowed to. But once they come out, it's going to be incredible. The development that is sitting on the cusp of happening here in the city of Vineland that people told me couldn't be done. I mean, I was hearing that when I was a councilman. I was hearing it when I was a school board member. And, you can't fix this, you can't do that. What? Don't tell me no. Because we're going to figure out a way to make it a yes.
Well, you sure have.
And I'm proud of what we've done. And I couldn't do it without my team. Paul is always an integral part of the team. Spinelli, he's been with me forever. And my council and Ronnie Franceschini and Al Vargas and David Acosta and Elizabeth Arthur. It's a team effort here. And people don't always look at that way. Just like we talked about Sandy and Bobby D and Rick Tanetta and and our public safety people and they don't get it.
I saw the chief the other day. He was in Millville having custard with me.
All right.
I looked at him and he says, "Yep." It was really nice to see him down there.
Well, the custard stand there across from the Truist Bank.
Yes, that's the one. Yeah.
So I went with Julie Pasito.
Oh, that's your cousin.
Her son Greg is a captain in the department.
Oh, okay.
And then I was with him and another gentleman who's now a retired sergeant, Ron DeMarchi. And they're like, "We're going out there for custard." I'm like, "Okay." So we get in a truck one night and we decided to take Greg for custard. Like 3 little kids. They're like, "You got to get this and you got to get that." Well, I'm like, whatever. You guys just go. I'm on the phone. Bring me back. Well, I mean, I get this monster.
I know the medium is gigantic.
I bring it home like, "Girls, here." And the kids are salivating for, "Daddy, what do you got?" I'm like, "Here, please take it. I can't eat anymore. I'm going to explode." But quality was great.
Yeah,
the service was good. Really good. But that's the thing. You jump over one border from one town to the other, and you try to support the businesses. And Julie's got BJ Roasters down there. Her wings are great.
Oh God, her
I go out of my way to buy
super,
them.
I love her stuffing. It was, oh my God, anything she makes is really, what a sweetie. She's such a nice person.
Absolutely.
She really is.
So, I mean, it's like anything else. And this is why I want to see things really pan out well. I wish the one thing that Millville would do one day, and I know it's not apparently popular enough decision, but change your form of government.
I tried. I couldn't even get a person to sign the petition. There's only like 5 left in the state of New Jersey. Mm-hmm. It's an antiquated form of government. You constantly turn over I'm the only person that ever served 3 terms, 12 years as mayor. Santiago did get 2. Other than that, every single person, 1 term and you're out because it's not set up. It's, commission form of government. You're right. It's the only, you see how went to mayor council. They were commission years back.
Yep.
But I tried. I couldn't even get people to sign the petitions because what happens is the other commissioners, they don't want to give up their power. They have their little kingdom of whatever department they have, so they don't want to give up what they
it's selfish. And that's the thing. You're being elected to serve the people, but you're not serving the people properly because if you have the right form of government, you have your executive, your legislative, just like the federal government. Right?
Exactly.
And I just don't understand. I wish that people could become more educated on that because I really believe the right form of government could really help propel Millville to another level.
Yeah.
Listen, selfishly for me,
you're lucky.
The better, it's great for us, but the better Millville does, the better it is for Vineland.
And for the county, too. Sure, you're carrying almost 48% of the tax roll.
I mean, so, the better they do there, it is. And Millville's such a beautiful place. You've got a waterway downtown.
Yeah, you got the river, you got Union Lake, Laurel Lake. You got some beautiful assets to it.
The main drag isn't as wide as Landis Avenue, so it's a little more charming, if you will.
Yeah.
There's so much potential. And I mean, geez, back when you were mayor, I remember when you were having
Third
Fridays.
Fridays.
Right. We'd come out there.
Yeah.
The restaurants were there. Over by the park over there by the riverfront.
Right.
You know,
Captain Buck Park.
That's it. Thank you. Was always doing well. And Millville was excelling, and Vineland was drowning at one point. And it's like, what happened? And then, you know, but
well, some guy named Anthony Fanucci got elected in marijuana.
Leadership matters. I won't lie. Leadership does matter. But at the end of the day, the potential's all there. The tools are there for Millville, and you know, and I would love to be able to have my sister city succeed the way it can. I mean, Millville's what, 40 plus square miles, right?
45, yeah. Mm-hmm.
So you got great territory, you got great coverage, and you know, if we can't do the airport,
motorsports park,
oh
got
my
a lot
goodness.
of things.
There's a lot of stuff. There's you know, the puzzle pieces are there. They've just got to line them on the board correctly and connect them.
And hopefully they will.
I hope they do too.
Lisa's a really good lady, and
Yeah.
Hopefully she can get everybody on the same
You got
page.
a lot of good people with a lot of good ideas. They just really have to get on the same page and really lead.
Yeah. Mayor, thank you so much, man. I appreciate
Always a pleasure,
it.
Jim. Thank you.
Great to see you. Thank you very much. Tom and Jane Verba, thanks for coming out and being part of our studio audience tonight. And if you get a chance, folks, stop out to the Queen restaurant. They're open until 10 o'clock, so they get that 2 for $25 deal, 2 full meals. Soup or salad, entree, vegetable, and a dessert for $12.50. And it's delicious, I'm telling you. I get turkey. It's one of my favorites, but there's about 8 dozen different items that you can choose from, and it's very, very good. For Mayor Anthony Fanucci, I'm Jim Quinn. Thanks for joining us for Insight tonight, and thank you, Ryan Narowski, for producing the show. We'll see you again real soon. Take care, folks. Good night.
This has been a QBC television production, in association with our partners and sponsors. QBC broadcasts on Comcast Cable Channel 22, and live streams its programming on Facebook and YouTube. All rights reserved by Quinn Media and QBC, programming that serves the South Jersey market.